Hey, and welcome to Matt and Jess TV. I am Matt Roast.
And I'm Jessica Bun Bun.
We are here with our new edition of Big Brother 27 live feed spoilers. In just 48 hours, another eviction is going to happen. And I know we've got Riley and Morgan and Mickey all on the block. And yes, I know it's theoretically possible that Morgan could go this week. There are still some possible outcomes there. But the majority of my head is celebrating the possibility that we are getting rid of either Riley or Mickey. This is not a possibility that I fathomed would be possible when Rachel won HOH.
No, I knew that some of it was going to be happening. I mean, Rachel really needed to go after someone like Mickey. She handled it badly. It's all kind of coming together in a really sweet way for her right now. And after Lauren used the veto, which I still feel was absolutely the right thing to do at this point in the game. You do not let your allies go home if you can save them. She saved Vince, and we've got Riley on the block. It is very exciting. It is Rachel's HOH reign. She is first of her name, breaker of chains, burning this house down.
There are moments in the past, like several days, I've kind of had an out-of-body experience when I'm just like, people think that this move is a bad move. Like, people think that Lauren, saving her number one ally is like something that's questionable. Yeah, some people were not thrilled about it, but it's just sort of like, at the same time, I don't think in my head here Lauren's anybody's number one target still moving forward. It's just sort of like all of these people who were upset that, oh, Rachel, you're making too many big moves. Everybody's going to come after you. Everybody was going to come after. She's Rachel Riley.
Everyone was coming after her anyways. If she didn't win this HOH, she'd probably be going home this week. I feel with my full chest, I'm saying it. Lauren made the right decision to keep her ally. They can both play in the HOH next week. They have a double shot of keeping it together. Vince is basically her number one. This is the person that she's been riding with since pretty much the beginning. She's an idiot to me if she does not take him off this block. Like, why would you? If Matt is on the block and I have the veto and I don't use it on him, I deserve to go home.
I am gonna just be like crying and just blanketing in a corner somewhere like Audrey if you do not use the veto on me.
No, that's the thing is like everybody already knew that Lauren was working with Vince. There are bigger fish to fry right now. Vince wasn't going to be going home. I feel he wasn't going to be going home. You can get out more of the people that are around him. Riley was going to be probably continuing to like ride around with Vince anyways. You have to take away his numbers. He just has too many votes right now.
And this is really the crux of this update. And this is where I think things are going to get really interesting for your guy Vince over the next couple of days. Because this guy has gone from being on the block and begging Lauren to use the veto on him to all of a sudden being quite possibly the crucial swing vote in a lot of different scenarios. And beyond all of that, a pipe dream scenario for me might be coming true. Emphasis on the word might here. Rachel and Vince, these two crazy kids from opposite sides of the Big Brother house, can they actually come together in an alliance and make it work?
It looks like it's happening. Whether or not this is going to be true alliance next week when someone else is in power is another question. But right now, it's coming together. It's been named.
Yeah, okay. We will get into that, the current state of the vote. Keanuing himself all over the house today. But before we go any further, hit that subscribe button because we really appreciate all of your support. Obviously, we're here with daily Big Brother 27 live feed updates. We're going to have those for you guys all season long. We love chatting with you about the show. And of course, so much more reality TV on the way, including Survivor, including The Amazing Race. I know it was just announced, but I'm still psyched about the newbie version of The Traitors. I don't know why. It's just like the UK version's so good when they have all newbies. Like, this could be great.
Yeah, we absolutely cover The Traitors here as well. We're super excited about The Amazing Race because there's lots of Big Brother people that are going to be on it. So hit that subscribe button and stick with us. And if you want to talk to us further about Big Brother and help support the channel, head over to our Patreon. We're talking about Big Brother over there as well with you guys.
Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate that. Well, before we go too deep into this new alliance, I think we need to set up here, at the very least, Rachel's rationale. That's a little bit of a tongue twister, just because we all need context, right? So Rachel, it seems as though Riley is her target now, despite who she put up previously. And I think, you can craft a lot of narratives for this. It's like, is she trying to appease people who were originally upset that she nominated Mickey? Maybe, but my tinfoil hat on all of this
Hmm.
is just that once Vince is taken off the block, Rachel, like we said, she is Rachel Riley. She is a queen. She's not going to settle for getting people out of the game who are, in her minds, peasants in some ways, where it's just like Kelly leaving, for example. That does nothing for Rachel's reputation. That does nothing to shake up the house. I think she just
No,
wants to take the snow globe that is Big Brother and just like, or actually to do the Daenerys reference here. She wants to break the wheel that is the
that's
Big
right.
Brother game, and getting rid of either Riley or Mickey, like that actually achieves that.
Yeah, Mickey is controlling a lot right now, or at least she was going into all of this. She had Morgan on her side, she had Ashley on her side, she had a lot of people's ears,
Mhm.
and Riley's in a showmance. And so, if you break up the showmance, that's helpful. If you break up this trio, that's also going to be helpful. At this point, she's going to get rid of somebody that matters, unless it's Morgan. I mean, that does take away some of Vince's numbers. So, it's still a move, but it's not the biggest of the moves.
No, and yeah, she wants to make a really big move because I think that's just going to cause chaos. We'll see where the numbers fall, and we'll see now with this alliance if some of these people actually commit to it
Mhm.
and try to keep her safe, because this group, it is currently titled The Judges. We'll see if production makes them change that or not. I never know. There's alliance names that change all the time once production is like, well, you can't say that on TV.
Absolutely. And this alliance, I never would have thought would be a thing that is forming, but here we are.
And it is consisted of Vince, Will, Rachel, Morgan, and Ashley. Those are the five. That is the assemblage of chaos that is this group.
Yeah, like if it wasn't right now while Rachel was the HOH, I would feel like this is nonsense and that this is actually not going to stick. And but because it is only Tuesday, it's possible that they have more and more and more conversations and that they actually realize that working together might be in everybody's best interest. It's hard to know. I mean, a lot of these players have been kind of moving through alliances and people that they're partnered with, and no one has really just stuck with who they're sticking with since the beginning except Lauren, who's really stuck on Vince.
Yeah, and this is why, to me, this is all about Rachel and this is all about Vince and what the
Right.
two of them want to do with this. They have been going after each other for so long. We've talked about this. If they could just find a way to work together, they would be able to control a lot of the house because they are easily two of the best players this season. Like, your guy Vince is the best newbie player, and I think it's not even that close at this point. And
No.
Rachel, she's obviously got that returning advantage. But one of the reasons Rachel's been going after Vince is because she knows that Vince is a very, very good player. And so the idea of them working together, it might just be an alliance, temporary convenience, but I know a lot of people, the moment that this formed this afternoon, were immediately like, okay, 2 minutes, Vince is going to go and rat this out to somebody. He hasn't ratted it out to anyone yet as of this recording. Vince, you have one job.
Yeah, he's keeping his options open, which is what he should be doing. There is no reason to go and rat this out yet. You want to see what ends up happening a little bit later on, whether it's before the next HOH or after it, and see who's actually in power and see if he needs to keep this alliance together. Have more conversations. This might be something for him, especially if this alliance is going to get together and be like, okay, we need to get out Riley, who is somebody who is a Vince number.
Yeah, I think the biggest reason for Vince to just keep things under wraps here is that, he does have someone in this alliance, and Morgan,
Mhm.
who really does treat him like a potential number one in this
Yes.
game. And so it's like, if he goes out and starts blabbing about this to everybody, he potentially jeopardizes his game with her, and he might already have some issues there because of Keanu that we'll get into a little bit later in this video. So he can't really do anything else to anger her.
Right.
But then also, like, the real origination of this alliance, it comes down to, okay, we have Rachel and Ashley, which first and foremost, let's all just celebrate the idea that,
Welcome back.
yeah, it's so nice seeing a reunion of old friends in the Big Brother game. It seems like Ashley has woken up from her spell. Like we talked previously, a lot of the jokes online is that Ashley is a twin and there's good Ashley and bad Ashley. I'm going to go a different route here because we cover Severance here at the channel. We
Mhm.
have Any Ashley and we have Outie
I
Ashley. And
like it.
Any Ashley has gone to Gemma, and Gemma has been like, your Outie loves Rachel Riley. Your Outie wants to go to the end of the game with Rachel Riley. And so now, whether this is Any Ashley or Outie Ashley, it seems like she has fixed things. She has thrown Mickey under the bus a little bit. And ultimately, Rachel wants Riley to go. I think they're trying to come up with just a conglomeration of people to make sure that this happens so long as Riley does not win the blockbuster, which can this blockbuster be a Twitch streaming competition? Is that possible? I mean, Morgan, you have zero comp wins. Everyone talks about this. Like, this is your chance.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a good chance that he could go. I mean, they could get this together, but really, my worry about Ashley is because Ashley has been on this side and this side and this side, and whoever is holding her ear is bringing her in. That, yeah, maybe she's with Rachel right now, but maybe this next HOH is won by Mickey, and that's the end of it.
Yeah, and that's why everything is so flimsy. And all of this alliance making kind of comes down to the numbers in general right now. Because if you look at Riley, like, let's just talk about the vote through Riley's lens for a moment here. He's got on his side, as of right now, Catherine, Kelly, Lauren, and Keanu. Oh my goodness, Keanu, you
I
make me want to
know.
run through a wall.
I
Like,
know.
those four people, and 5 is the number you need to get to in order to basically stay and send somebody else home. So 5 is that magic number. And so it's just like it's a situation right now where if Vince is like, okay, you know what? I want to keep Riley, he can just jump to that other group, make sure that happens, and then it's like all of these plans just completely fall through.
And that's what's really interesting about it because the Rachel sort of side of it all knows that they actually need Vince and that they need that vote from Vince. But Riley is a vote that works with Vince and has been working with Vince. If they can actually convince Vince to get rid of a number on his side of things with this, like the Judges Alliance, who knows if it's real or not, but his actual work with Riley is real. He will be voting with him most likely for most of the game, right? Like he doesn't know what's going on with this new group for sure. If they can actually convince Vince to vote out someone who would likely be voting with him quite deep into the game, then that's like an amazing game move to make Vince do that.
Yeah, it is. And he might feel the pressure to do this because of Morgan. He might feel like, okay, maybe I can do this, keep Morgan on side. Maybe then I can walk around and be like, Keanu did this. It was his fault. And then never
Yeah.
own the vote. Like he's got a lot of scenarios depending on what he wants to do here. But I think what complicates everything for Vince, and I don't know how to be nice about this, but players on Big Brother 27 keep saying dumb things that just make it all the more messy. Let's start with Morgan here, for example. Like, Vince tried to talk things out with her after this alliance meeting, the
Mhm.
formation of the judges, and was just sort of making sure that they were both good to keep Mickey over Riley. And, Vince had a lot of like, are you sure? Are you, because it felt like he was testing the waters in
Mhm.
case he did want to keep Riley. But then I think Morgan thought, I'm going to pull a rabbit out of my hat here. I'm going to show Vince how loyal I am to him, that I have his back. So I'm going to tell him that Mickey contemplated putting him on the block instead of Jimmy when she was HOH. And I think she thought, all right, now he knows he owes me. He's indebted to me.
Oh
Like,
my God.
isn't Vince going to be like, well, maybe I should want to get rid of the person who wanted to put me on the block?
Correct. And I actually think that the better move for Vince, because I truly feel like hard hat, this alliance isn't gonna stick. It just doesn't
Yeah.
feel like it's going to stick. If he sends out Riley, which is what I want to see, I love Vince, but I need Riley to go. I'm done with him.
Yes.
That it just doesn't make any sense for his game to send out somebody who's going to be one of sort of the voting block with him and his group. Like Mickey's not going to be voting with Vince in really any scenario. So like why in the world would he do this?
I just think it's going to come down to if Vince does this, he does it because he feels like he can adequately blame someone else. Maybe he will blame Kelly instead of Keanu and he'll feel like he can get away with it. Or he does somehow get it into his head. It's like, okay, maybe I'm not going to have another chance to get rid of the showmans. Maybe if the numbers dwindle, they won't be there. And maybe he finds a way to talk himself into this. But here's another interesting component in all of it. And this is where we turn to Keanu, who we know is a man of many talents, but one of them is not keeping information to himself. Morgan goes and campaigns to Keanu this afternoon as well, and she tries to lay out a case. Keanu doesn't really want to listen to her all that much because he
No.
just doesn't trust her. He feels like she's just going to go and say everything to Mickey. And then he told her, it was just like, you know what? I feel like Mickey's going to go no matter what. And I think you'll be safe if you're up there against Mickey. But if you're up there against Riley, I'm sorry, you don't have the votes. Vince has already promised his vote to Riley.
Oh my. It's so frustrating every time I hear that he's doing this or I see that he's doing, because we split the feeds, and
Yes.
so he gets the night, I get the day. It's just like whenever we come back together, it's like, guess what you said now? You missed it last night, or you
Yeah.
missed it this morning. It's so mind boggling. I still love him. I don't care.
I can't help it. He is okay. I love Fun Dip candy, and I know it's really,
You
really
really
bad for
do.
me. It
It
destroys
truly
my
is.
teeth. I only have
Yeah.
it like once a year. But Keanu
In
is
your
the
stocking.
this is true. Keanu is the Big Brother Fun Dip. We all know he's bad. He's really bad for the game. He's probably
But he's
bad.
so good.
But yeah, he's so delicious to watch. Everything about this man is hilarious, and including the idea that now, as of this recording, once again, like, Morgan hasn't gone back to Vince with this. Maybe she's distrusting Vince over some of this. Maybe she is like, what gives? You don't want to keep me around. Or maybe she is just like, okay, Vince is just telling Keanu all sorts of nonsense here. But I kind of do wonder, after Keanu decided to do this, if Vince is going to be like, well, now I really have to do whatever Morgan wants because
Yes.
Keanu has kind of put me in a corner by just engaging in some more blabbermouthing beyond what he needed to do.
I would not be surprised if while we're recording this, Morgan has spoken to Vince. Like,
Yeah.
she's not going to sit on something like this unless she truly just looked him in the eyes and felt like he's lying. This can't be a real thing. Vince would never do me so dirty.
Okay, here's going to be, to me, the real test of how serious Vince is about these judges and how serious ultimately he is about, okay, I really want to get rid of Riley this week.
Yeah.
If he and Rachel both go and talk to Keanu and is like, Keanu, Riley has been throwing you under the bus every which way. He does not want you here. And Vince actually credibly backs up everything Rachel has been saying for literally days. Then I will start to feel like Vince is kind of serious about this, but I don't actually think that Vince is going to do this.
No, and Keanu won't believe him anyways. I just feel like he'll be like, oh, you're misinformed. You just heard wrong. Like, you and him, you guys are my guys. You guys are both fine. Like, he's just never going to believe anything. I feel like Riley could walk up to him and be like, I'm not working with you. And he'd be like, you're such a kidder.
He would be like, is this actually Ainsley from last season, the
Yeah.
AI? This is not really Riley I'm speaking. I am so upset at Keanu over these past 24 hours. Like you said, I do still love him. It's impossible not to. But
Yeah.
his whole constant defense of Riley and everything
It's so
Riley
weird.
says, and his conversations with Rachel. And I know Bold and the Beautiful, you guys have this long story tradition of casting Big Brother alumni. If Rachel and Keanu are not on an episode together after this season, because their whole friend breakup last night, where she was just so mad at him for not listening about the Riley stuff, and he was just like, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, and by the way, that's never a great way to start a conversation.
No, because you're basically like, I'm not saying you're wrong. I know you're wrong. Is basically
he's
what's
just
happening.
like, why are you saying my reads are always wrong? Maybe some of my reads are right. Maybe you're just misunderstanding some things that are happening. And it's just, he's constantly, he qualifies everything. And it's like, Rachel, I respect your game, but it's not the game that I'm playing or the game that I want to play. And he's just so unbelievably dramatic, and so is she. And that's what makes it so funny. But they had this whole falling out. And the end of the conversation, it was like, so I guess we're gonna talk later. And it's like, well, we'll see. It just felt like you could play
Of course,
this.
you guys are going to talk later. You are the brother and sister of the show.
They can't help themselves. And this is why, after the judges' formation, Rachel was just like, all right, I guess I have to try to talk to Keanu again and see if I can get something through his skull.
Yeah.
Guess what happened? Absolutely nothing. He
No.
instead insists on, yeah, I do want to get Riley out eventually, but it's all about timing. And this is not the right time for it. Maybe next week is going to be fine. And I'm just like, Keanu, if you said, like, I want Riley out in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, maybe you would have a better argument, but I want him out next. Like, what's the difference? You might as well just get him out now.
Yeah, he might as well just go now. He's not a number for you. Oh my God. I wish that there was a way that I could just send it through the live feeds. He is not a number for you.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to work with you. He doesn't seem to like you.
Yeah.
Just let it go, my dude.
It's all so unbelievably bizarre because Riley has talked so much smack about him
Yes.
to so many different people. I will give a tinfoil hat on this, by the way.
Mhm.
I think Riley is threatened by Keanu because Keanu is this big, really buff dude, and Riley.
But he's such a nerd
I
like
know,
us.
he is. He's Dungeons and Dragons. He's an ultimate theater kid. You know, this guy was doing improv sketches under the bleachers at some points
Yes.
during sporting events, and yet Riley just always seems to have an issue that he wants to be kind of the alpha male of the house, and he doesn't really like all these other dudes, and that's just unfortunately how it is. And I kind of feel like Julie's exit interview for Keanu when he's inevitably evicted from the game is
No, when he wins, you
okay.
win.
Okay, sorry. When he wins, he needs an hour-long thing where Julie just sits him down and informs him of every single bad read he has made this season because it will take an hour.
I can't wait for that exit interview.
It's gonna
when he
be
wins.
really, really good. But okay, so right now we are seemingly in a position here where Mickey will go in some scenarios, Riley will go in some, and Morgan might be okay. But that is all kind of dependent on people like Vince, like Keanu, where things stand. And I think one other thing that's kind of interesting at this point is the idea that Ava may still need some talking to from Will and Rachel and some other people because she did have all of these issues over the weekend with Mickey and how she was acting and how she was talking smack about some other people. And
Yes.
I think that Ava can be talked into getting rid of Riley, but it just feels like over the past day or so, nobody's really taken her that seriously. I mean, a part of it's her own problem. She's not really taking enough initiative herself either.
Absolutely. I think that she can be moved over to Riley. Like we said in our last update, she is the only person that has come up to Catherine about that relationship and has been like,
Yeah.
outside of the game, you okay? Like, are you doing okay with everything that's kind of going on with you and Riley?
Yeah.
And I think that if they're able to kind of talk it and maneuver it that way, that Ava will be like, yeah, he just needs to go.
Yeah, I think Ava will be able to get on side at some point here. I think Ava's also just been in her head a lot ever since the veto ceremony because she was very, very upset about the idea that Vince acts so shocked and so surprised at the veto. And he was just like, oh, thank you so much. I never expected this. Because, you know, Vince always acts in this game as though he is the Black Knight from Monty Python and he's losing his arm, his leg. He's just like crawling around on the floor helpless.
To be fair, there was a significant period of time where Lauren didn't know what she was doing and she wasn't telling anybody what she was doing. And Vince did go to try to convince her and she was like, I don't know. So, I mean, like, it may actually be partially actual real relief.
I actually, and I do think it was real. I think this is the thing. I think Vince, you know, had a good feeling that it was probably going to happen, but I think at the same time.
But there may have been some worry before that because she wasn't being very clear about it and she wasn't sure.
Yeah, this is Lauren. This is a famously indecisive player, but I think Ava's just had it out for Vince because she knows how good Vince is with a lot of people.
Yes.
And she doesn't like his whole feel sorry for me act that he constantly puts on.
It works.
It does work. People have won using this particular act. It's very effective. But I mean, they have sort of talked things out a little bit this afternoon. I think Ava's just kind of got to get out, be out there, have a few more conversations, and she can be ultimately steered a little bit in that particular direction.
Right.
What's just so bizarre about this week, and this is why it just feels like we're in the craziest possible timeline here, is it's just the continued confusion of why do people not understand why Riley is either a target in the game or why people would be upset at him online. Because, like, we got to this point where in the past 36 hours, I have heard both Keanu and Kelly both collectively be like, you should have just put me up instead of Riley because, you know, I could win the blockbuster and it would all be okay. Like, what is with this Riley obsession?
I also don't know what's with the obsession of just keep putting me up over and over
Yes.
again, Kelly. Like, it's so weird. And Keanu, like, man, you've been up every single week. Like, just to have a breath, man, it'll be all right. You
Yes.
guys, it is so weird to hear the two of them at this point. Maybe it's just, you know, being on the block-itis, that they've been on the block so many times and have won so many vetoes or blockbusters or whatever, that they're just like, yeah, I'm a veteran at this now. I can just get up there and do that. You can have these two other people as targets. And they're just not really paying attention to the fact that they could still be left up there. They might not win.
Yeah, and then they would probably go, and that's just the way the numbers go. Kelly is just bored. That's just my theory on it because
Yeah, I agree.
nobody really talks to her. She has started to get something going a little bit with Lauren and Riley and Catherine. Like there's kind of sort of the beginning of something there, but it really just feels like these other people all think that she's ultimately expendable. Lauren just needs to figure out to talk to some people who are not just Vince, especially after this veto play, because everyone is going to look at her a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. She needs to finesse her relationship with Catherine a little bit more and like really start to build out. Like, yeah, you can have Vince as your number one, and we'll see what ends up happening on Thursday, anyways, with the next HOH. It could be her, it could be Vince. There's a two shot here.
Yeah, the only real problem that Lauren has kind of come up against is this idea that, like, okay, did she know that Riley was going to be the replacement nominee or not? Because it seems like Rachel strongly suggested it to her, and Lawrence told Catherine about it. Now Catherine and Riley both know. Like Lawrence tried to just sort of be like, I thought she was bluffing. It's no big deal. I thought we were on a break. Like she's trying that whole sort of rationale. And I mean, who knows how much that's working.
Of course she is. That's always been the wishy-washy on offense of her own making. I don't know.
I
Like
know.
it's the same thing every single time. Like I'm sure she's going to be able to get out of it. She got in and out of her HOH like nothing happened. So I mean, she's just to a lot of people in the house such a non-target, and that's why for Vince, having that loyalty from Lauren is perfect because she's never going to beat him if they go to the end together.
That's the thing. And that's why Vince, if he does make the move to get rid of Riley this week, he has to either make sure Lauren is okay with it in advance and do something to really throw Riley under the bus. And maybe he can be like, oh, you know, Catherine will be so much closer to you. You don't have to worry about Riley anymore. Or he's able to frame someone else. Like those, he has to figure out a way to get through this week while maintaining his relationships. And that's going to be really, really hard. But, you know, we've talked about this already. The idea that Vince continues to find a way to escape real danger. Like this is what makes an incredible Big Brother player. Like this adds to the narrative. And even if not everybody online may love Vince, it's like you love Vince for a very clear reason. Like he is just a really great player.
He is, yes, he is a great player. I know I've kind of been like, is he a great player? Is he a great player because he's on a season of really crap players? And he is a really good player. I would love to see him come back on some sort of like veteran season after this and play with people who are strategically on his level of things, because the only other person like that in there is Rachel at this point. That this is not the strategic house this season. But he really is a big threat in this game, and he's the person who's going to win this season if he doesn't get out. He's the only person that I think can beat Rachel.
All right. Well, before we wrap this video up, I want to do something that I certainly did not expect days ago. I'm going to give Morgan some flowers. It has been a long time since I have done this. I disliked her preseason. I liked her for 2 weeks. Then she annoyed me for like 3. And, you know, Morgan, you're still not my favorite person in the house, but You have taken being on the block ever since, especially the veto ceremony, so much better than I ever expected. Like, you have really taken some time to try to build something up here with Rachel. I don't think it's any coincidence you're part of this judges group now, regardless of if it's real. You still are working on things with Vince. You've positioned yourself fairly well, yes. I am tired of hearing you talk about wall comps. I'm tired of hearing you talk about jury. Like, none of that is ever going to go away. But at least I feel like you have sort of stabilized yourself. And, here's my really big tinfoil hat for
Mhm.
you. I think it was a good thing Zach left. I think Zach leaving this game has allowed you to get your head in the game a little bit more and actually focus on what matters.
I think all she needed to do this week is exactly what she's doing, which is don't stir the pot. You're on the block with Riley, who's a big target that
Yes.
has ruffled some people the wrong way, and some people are feeling a little bit weird about it, like Ava having that conversation with Catherine. And then you've got Mickey, who has definitely stirred the pot with a lot of people as well. You, Morgan, just need to sit there and say nothing and let it all play out. It will be okay.
Just chill.
Yes, vibe it out. You'll
And
be all right.
with that, we are done with this edition of Big Brother 27 live feed
Mhm.
spoilers. Who do you guys think is going to go this week? Who do you want to see go this week? Like, I'm very much in the camp, just like you are. I want Riley to go this week. No,
Riley,
Riley,
Riley, bye, bye,
Riley.
bye, bye.
Okay, yeah, please, let's make this happen. Hit that subscribe button so you guys don't miss any more daily Big Brother updates, and support us further by joining our Patreon. That link is in the description.
Mhm.
Thank you so much. We'll
Thank
see you
you.
here next time.